Hello, my lovelies. Here's a reading for Aries people for the month of March 2019. I hope that you are all well. I'm starting off with you guys, you being the first sign of the zodiac, because it's like you're chomping at the bit, because there's only, 4 weeks to go until your birth season, until Aries season. So I'm getting the sense of you that there's something bubbling underneath the surface, and you might be feeling very excited or full of anticipation. Some even might be feeling a little bit frustrated, or there seem to be delays around you. You're wanting to get something up and running. But because we are still in Pisces season, and Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, there's a need for you, as well as all of us, just to slow down a little bit. And because we're coming to the end of the zodiac cycle, for you to be able to go with the flow, because Pisces is water and you are fire. So you don't want to boil that water up and get it too steamy just yet. So as I say, it might be a little bit frustrating for you at the moment, because you want to see things manifesting in your life. But when you pay a little bit more attention to, as I say, going with the flow, then when these things are due to arrive, they will arrive with a bang. So you don't want them to arrive as a damp squib, because your energy is fire. And if you've been working on full volume for this last year, some of you might be feeling burned out, and that you're a bit frazzled and fried by all the things that have been occurring in your life. Now, for the collective, there is a huge shift, an enormous shift of energy in the month of March, and it's going to affect all of us. So it's not exactly batten down the hatches, because I feel that for you, beautiful Aries people, you have been working very hard towards something, and you are almost there. You're just at the you're almost at the finish line. Okay, I can see the checkered flag, somebody getting that out and ready to wave it at you within the next 4 to 5 weeks. So it's very hard to say to an Aries, bide your time. And the sign of Aries actually rules the head, so the forehead. So and if you think of the ram, you don't want to be butting heads with anybody just yet. You do have some good ideas, you do have some amazing plans, but other people aren't quite ready to receive them yet. And the more that you can go with the flow, pace yourself, take your time, when that divine timing comes in, then it will be received on a much easier level. Now, on the 6th of March, we have some extraordinary happenings. First of all, it's a new moon in the sign of Pisces, and as I say, Pisces is about going with the flow of things. So when we have a new moon, it's always about new beginnings, starting something new. So Pisces is daydreaming and intuition and fantasy. But because this is a new moon, this isn't just fantasy or something that will never materialize. This is more to do with when we daydream about what it is we want to bring into our lives, we are going into that zone where nothing else around you seems to matter. It's timeless. And if you can spend some time this month of March, daydreaming, sitting in a quiet, comfortable place with the sun shining on you, preferably either outside or inside, weather permitting, and just daydream it. So you know, in sports psychology, if there's a sportsman got a big event coming up, the psychologist will say to them, I want you to run it through in your mind over and over and over again until it's absolutely implanted into you. And so you have a muscle memory, you have synapses in your brain all clicking together. So when the actual event comes, you just do it automatically. There's no fear, there's no anticipation or anxieties, you just go and do it. So the more that you can train your minds now through the month of March, with this daydreaming type of thing, it is so useful. Some people might say, oh, well, you know, it's a waste of time and you're just dreaming your life away. No, you're not. It's one of the best ways of getting into that zone, getting into that part of our whole being that listens, that connects with that higher part of you and with the universe. And so then the universe is able to deliver it because you've been working on it in such a way that you've got it down to the finest detail. Now, I've chosen some oracle cards for you. And these are all, they're all pretty gorgeous, actually. The first one, is joy. So it's the angels of joy, and there's three little dudes jumping for joy with lots of lovely heart energy, love energy all around you. So if you've been lacking in joy, if you've I'm being shown someone with a great big black duffel coat on with the hood up and the toggles all done up and sitting hunched and cold and chilly and miserable and absolute opposite of joy. So there might be some of you out there who've through these winter months have felt what's the point? Why should I bother? Why should I put any effort in? But you're almost there. As I said, the finishing post is almost there. So any of you who have been feeling a bit gloomy, tap into this. Tap into this energy. And it's not one angel, it's not two, it's three. So it's on all levels, so mind, body and spirit. So if your mind's been churning around and around and around, as I say, Aries energy rules the head, especially the forehead. So if you've been having headaches about something, or you've been pondering on something and it's just gone round and round and round, like analysis paralysis, it's about letting that go and allowing things to move from the head down through the body, out through the feet, grounding you. So this wonderful, joyful energy wants to come and embrace you. Now, the other thing about the 6th of March, not only is there a new moon in Pisces, but that darn old pesky planet Mercury is going to go retrograde for 3 weeks. Now, a lot of people loathe that period, Mercury retrograde. It happens 3 times a year and usually about 3 weeks each time. But because it's in a water sign, it's in Pisces, it's actually going to assist with this other bit of information. So the third thing that's happening on the 6th of March is a huge outer planet called Uranus is moving signs. So it's actually moving out of your sign, where it's been for 7 years, and it's moving into the sign of Taurus. So when we have this huge planet of change running through our own signs, it doesn't half jiggle things up. So you'll be able to heave a big sigh of relief as of, we're probably already feeling it now, but as of the 6th of March, because it's moving, it's shifting out of your sign and into the sign of Taurus. Now, we know that Aries is fire and Taurus is earth. So what I said about getting to the finishing line, if you look back over the last 7 years of your lives and you see what you've ignited, what you've wanted to set fire to, what's burned to a frazzle, and what you can recognise and let go of, as Uranus moves into Taurus and Earth sign, you'll be able to ground things. So any ideas or plans or dreams or goals that you've been working on, or relationships in the last 7 years, it is about to shift mightily, mightily, mightily. And Uranus sits in Taurus for another 7 years, because Uranus takes 84 years to go all around the zodiac, around the sun. It will spend approximately 7 years in each sign. So for all of us, there's this huge shift, a huge change. So if you've been already feeling it in your waters or in your bones or in your head, now you'll be able to, I'm here, they're saying step more lightly in your life, and also to be able to ground this dream, this vision, this goal. Okay, for some of you, I'm getting the idea of perhaps you've had a dream of building your own home, of somehow, you know, the program Grand Designs, something like that, building your own home, or moving to not just another area of the country, but to another country. And because Taurus rules Earth and the Earth, and Uranus is all about dramatic change, where you place your feet in life can be very, very different over these next 7 years. So even if it's just a metaphor that you build your own home, over these next 7 years you will be able to build something based upon the previous 7 years, all the hard work that you've put in, being able to recognise the bits that won't work, the bits that don't serve you, the bits that are outdated and wouldn't support you in this new way of being. I'm going to go back to the Mercury retrograde bit now. So, as I say, on the 6th of March, Mercury also goes retrograde. So because it's in a water sign, and Mercury rules communication, all forms of communication. So not just us talking to each other, it rules texts, emails, parcels, letters, however we make communication with each other. It rules commerce. It rules the crossroads of life. It rules, Mercury is the messenger of the gods. So over this Mercury retrograde period, you may receive divine intervention, divine messages. You may have dreams, you may have visions, you may have those aha moments and spontaneous messages popping into your life in some shape or form. And because this planet is going backwards, Mercury, and because Uranus is moving forwards into a new sign, it will soften the first few weeks of us feeling this enormous change. And when Mercury goes retrograde, it means we go over stuff. We have to revisit certain things, or things come to revisit us from the past. So it could be people you haven't seen in a very long time will show up again. It could be that you find certain things. If you're having a spring clean, you open up a box and there's something in there. Oh God, I thought I got rid of that. And it shows up again. And some of it can be a treasure. Some of it can be something that you really should have got rid of a long time ago. But also this is a healing energy for you to maybe take a little look at what has shown up and say, oh, have I dealt with this? If I haven't, I need to. If I have, this is a really good indication that can go. Now, the next little card I've got for you is one of the self-mastery cards, and it is silence. Now, for a lot of us, our heads are not silent. There's always something going on in our minds, and this constant chatter or monkey mind going on, and all of the what ifs. And like I said at the beginning, if you have a sense of frustration that people aren't getting back to you or aren't answering your questions, over this next 3-week period with Mercury retrograde, there can be delays, there can be questions unanswered, there can be texts and emails not replied to. So again, it's going with the flow of that energy and not getting too frustrated about it, because there is a plan. There is a divine plan, and sometimes you'll be railing at the gods and say, come on, hurry up, I really want this, I want it now. But the universe says, no, we can't give it to you now. It'd be much better if you waited. So with the silence card, it says, in the silence of my inner being, in the stillness of my home of peace, I ponder the greatness of my existence and the truly endless love and power I have within me. So if you can find, like I said with the daydreaming, that silence where you're not listening to your thoughts anymore, you are just embraced with those angels of joy, and you get into the zone, through that silence can come what it is you've been asking for, answers to your questions. Now this next card is just wonderful. This keeps coming up. I've had it about 4 or 5 times with different signs and with my private clients, and it's the gorgeous hummingbird. We had it for a few people in February. Now 44 is a master number, and 44 is the master teacher. So what you've been learning over the last 7 years, you will be able to teach to others. So whether it's with a professional qualification or not, through your experience, you will be able to enlighten others. And the hummingbird energy is so delicate and so unique and so exquisitely beautiful. This message that you have to share with others is going to come in on a much higher level. So hummingbird is the only little bird that can fly up, down, backwards, forwards, and hover, motionless. No other bird can do that. So this is bringing through for you, they're saying like your divine abilities. So it's said that we only use 10% of our brains, but because of all of these changes of energies coming onto the planet, it's shifting people, it's waking us up, it's activating ascension codes within our crystalline structure. And some of the things that I've received information-wise for myself, one thing is golden words. So what's that mean? And the words that are coming through, they are golden, they are shiny, they are bright, they are inspirational, they are, when I'm feeling a bit gloomy, it lights me up. And the other thing they've said to me is telescopic vision. So you don't need glasses, you don't need contact lenses, you can see literally for miles. And it isn't just with that inner vision. What's waking up within us are all these different abilities, a bit like X-Men. But that had to come from somewhere, the idea for that story, that we have dormant qualities, we have dormant abilities that wish to be awoken and ignited. And because the codes within us are being activated, and this happens when there's a major shift of energy on the planet, and also when you're ready. So when you've done the inner work, when you've put that question out there, there's got to be more than this. So when these codes within us are activated, we then have a heightened sense of life, of not just your usual five senses, but this other sixth sense of knowingness, of intuition, of knowing how to wait, knowing how to find that silence. And the other thing they're saying is, within these codes and within our whole beings, we are part of all that is. And when we're going searching outside of ourselves for joy, for happiness, for love, it isn't out there, it's already within us. So it's being able to acknowledge that you are joy, you are abundance, you are prosperity, you are love, you are happiness, and it isn't anybody else's job to give you those things. So with this enormous shift coming in for everybody, there is a need for us all to be very gentle with ourselves, and also to understand that it's happening to us, to everybody, not just you. So if you do get a bit frustrated, if you do get a bit fed up with any delays, know that it's happening for everyone. And the little hummingbird card, it says, embrace what makes you happy. Be joyful. Oh, it's come up twice. There you are. Be joyful. Count your blessings and open yourself to pleasure. So if the person I saw in the big black duffel coat hasn't had a sense of joy or pleasure, or felt that they could embrace joy and happiness, that is falling away. So with the lovely fire energy of Aries, it's a bit like a laser burning off all of that old dark heavy energy. I can smell it. I can smell that like the coat, that wool, you know, and wool, when you burn wool, that smell of singed wool. And as you do this cleansing and clearing and inner work, your smell might be heightened. So you might smell certain things like singed wool, and or the smell of cut grass. And because yours is the very first sign of the zodiac, and it's spring, so over these last couple of days, it's been so beautiful and bright and sunny and shiny out here, and you think, oh great, spring is here, but it's not just yet. But we're chomping at the bit, and because you're the first sign, you're chomping more than most of us, and really wanting to get out there and you know, when you see the new bar lambs and hopping and skipping and jumping and full of that wonderful joy of living and just being alive. Well, you do that for all of us because you're the first sign. So if you can carry that light, not just for yourself, but for all of humanity and animals and the planet and such like, then it is infectious. It can go viral. And I'd be very happy to have some of that myself. Thank you very much. So because you are fire, because you're ruled by the planet Mars, Mars is the male energy, so that's the divine masculine. I've chosen one of the Ascended Masters cards for you, and we have Kutumi, and it says stay focused, stay focused. So he's a cool dude. And as I said at the beginning, it's very hard for us to stay focused when there's a sense of you wanting something to happen now, but the universe is saying, not just yet. No, sorry, gotta wait. But if you take one step at a time, and also go out and play, because the hummingbird energy is about playfulness and joy. And I saw one in, well, a few of them in California some years ago, and they're tiny, tiny, tiny little things. And the iridescent colours of them, it's just like little angels flying around. And they are so trusting, and the sense of joy about them, again, that's catching. So staying focused on your joy. Now, Kutumi was a Sikh spiritual leader who lived in India, and it is said by some people that he reincarnated from St. Francis of Assisi, and also Pythagoras, so the Greek mathematician Pythagoras. So if you are working with animals, if you have a love for animals, that's the St. Francis energy, okay? And also if you have a love for numbers, some people do. So it's not just maths, it could be numerology or something like that, or you're fascinated by sacred geometry, then that Pythagorean energy is also around you this month. So if there's something that you cannot fathom, and a fathom is a measure of depth, then call on Pythagoras. If you have an animal that you're concerned about, whether it's yours or not, then call on St. Francis. To give you, if say a vet cannot figure out what's wrong with an animal, then call on St. Francis and a solution will come your way. So I'm going to end with one of Esther and Jerry's well-being cards. I've shuffled them and spread them out, but I haven't chosen one, so we'll see which one comes up for you guys. I just love the way this works, because usually whichever one I choose fits into and enhances all the other ones. So let's have a look. We're going to have a look at that. So there's someone asleep on a lily pad, and it says, I can relax into my natural well-being. So when you can step back and find that energy to just relax, not just go all the time, and trying to force things to happen, then these things will be delivered to you. Oh, this is funny. Now, you know, when we order something from Amazon or whatever, sometimes they're delivered by DHL or UPS, and sometimes they're delivered by a company called Hermes. Now, Hermes is the Greek name for Mercury. So I always giggle when I see a Hermes truck go by. So taking into account that Mercury is going retrograde as of the 6th of March, if you've ordered something, be prepared for a delay. Also, don't order anything big, nothing electrical during a Mercury retrograde period, because it might go wrong and you'll have to take it back. So on the back of this lovely card, it says, the essence of all that you appreciate is constantly flowing into and creating your reality. As you appreciate, your state of appreciation opens... Sorry, try that again. As you appreciate, your state of appreciation opens more channels that allow you more for which to feel appreciation. So the more you are grateful and appreciate things, the more can come to you. The more that you stamp your feet and say, it's not here yet, I'm waiting and I've done this and I've done that, then you're delaying it. So it works both ways. So the more that you can relax into this natural state of well-being, and well-being isn't just your health. Well-being is a state of your spiritual connectedness with the divine, and also that connectedness with nature too. So everything that is on the planet. So and above the planets. So the sky, the clouds, the sunshine, UFOs, whatever you like to imagine. And also because Uranus is moving into Taurus, it's about appreciating Mother Earth. So over this next 7 years, there may be huge innovations, not maybe, there will be, huge innovations and inventions to do with saving the planet, of helping Mother Earth, cleaning up the oceans and that sort of thing. So if you've feel that drive or that push towards assisting in some shape or form, that is going to manifest hugely in these next coming years. So I hope that's been of some help to you, my darlings. I've enjoyed reading for you. I want to just thank all of those who have donated to my channel. I really do appreciate it, because this does take up a little bit of my time, although, as I say, I'm delighted to do it. So thank you for sharing and liking and subscribing, and I look forward to talking to you next month. Bye for now.